I just decided to move forward. So I wasn't going to sit there and do nothing. To sort of have a crack. I'm not going to let my mates down.
You went to Afghanistan a soldier. You came back a hero.
You have to get to it inevitably. Can you explain to us what happened that day? I know you probably don't. You don't want to talk about it, do you? Really, really don't want to talk about it.
No, I'm quite happy to talk about it because I like to, let everyone know what the squadron did. I just, who likes talking about themselves? It's not really the done thing.
Okay, so what happened?
Well, basically, we're just conducting a targeting operation looking for a senior Taliban commander in North Kandahar, and we'd landed an assault force in a valley. As they landed, they came under extremely heavy fire from multiple machine guns and RPGs, which pinned them down and caused 2 casualties. At that point, my team was in another helo, circling around providing overwatch because we were the sniper platform for that particular job. The boys did a great job on the ground, just trying to get firm again and stabilise those casualties, and we were engaging opportunity targets as we could to sort of help them. Eventually, our airframe was taking too much fire, so we had to land in the valley on the orders of our patrol commander, and then we evacuated the casualties and moved up to the rest of the boys. And then from there, the ground force commander, who was another sergeant, made the decision that as opposed to bugging out or using air support, because we weren't sure about who was in the valley, that we would keep it surgical and move into the trees and close with the enemy. So we shook out and we started pushing through the orchards. At that point, our lead patrol got hit heavily over an obstacle and got pinned down. We had guys trapped in the obstacle on the other side, and very hard to see because of the vegetation, quite thick orchards, and we were fighting uphill. It wasn't very steep, but it was just enough to make visibility hard. We pushed our rear patrol up onto some high ground to try and see into the trees, give us some fire support, and they couldn't really do that because of the density of the vegetation. And I suppose something I may have missed earlier is that we actually had another patrol who landed up on a mountain who would specifically put there to provide us with fire support. Yeah. Those guys landed and were straight into a gunfight and fighting for their lives basically the whole day without being able to support us because they were just, straight into it with another group of insurgents. But anyway, the point remained that we were stuck there over this obstacle with machine gun fire sort of pinning us down. My patrol commander at that point decided that he was going to take the patrol and try and knock out this position, and we thought maybe one gun or perhaps 2 guns were there. We didn't know how many insurgents were in the valley at this point. So we started to advance to contact an extended line. As we approached, we got to about 80 metres and got hit very heavily with a lot of fire, which separated our patrol essentially, and we had sort of 3 guys on one side and 3 on another because of the lay of the land. The 3 on the right-hand side were engaged and in contact with another group of insurgents, which weren't from the main position, so they were busy dealing with that, and 3 of us were trapped in front of the guns, so to speak, so we continued to fight forward with the patrol commander jumping between the 2 groups, trying to run both these little fights. As we got to about 40 metres, we couldn't move forward anymore. The fire was just too heavy, so we just started to crawl, just cover each other and crawl forward, and I think we got probably in the vicinity about 20 metres away from the position, and at that point, I saw, the guy next to me has just basically knelt up in front of 3 machine guns that are firing full pelt and put some rounds into the position, which enabled myself to throw a grenade, which didn't really do a lot, and then the patrol commander threw a grenade, which at that, I think, ascertained that knocked out one of the guns, but the fire didn't stop, and I think I had the best cover, to be honest, at that point, and I just looked across, and one of the lads was pinned down, face down in the dirt, and essentially he couldn't really do anything at all. He was taking that much fire, and the next one along had just emptied his magazine into the position, so he was carrying out a stoppage, and he'd drawn a lot of fire on himself by doing that. And as I said yesterday, I think it just came down to I saw those guys getting shot at. They were stuck there we sort of weren't going anywhere. Everything had stalled, and you know, I was sort of bugger this. I'm not going to sit here now and wait until one of my mates gets hit. So I saw an opportunity just to go forward, and I did that, and was able to neutralise the first gun. And a few 9 or 10 metres away, there was another gun. Neutralise that, and within a few seconds the boys were back up and right by my side, and I thought that was the best opportunity to push the advantage, even though we were separated from the rest of the patrol. So we continued on and mopped up the rest of the position, and took out a few more insurgents doing that.
So
and, you know, I've got to say that was just one, although that was the break-in, it was one small part of a 10-hour firefight where, you know, every single guy at some stage was fighting the enemy and taking rounds. So yeah, there was a lot of actions like that day.
But while you were doing this, presumably they're shooting at you.
Yeah.
Did you stop? Did you have time afterwards? So, geez, that was extraordinary, or just get on with it?
No, well, I mean, we got to that position. Once we'd finished mopping up, we joined up with the rest of the boys, and another patrol came up on our flank and hit the next compound. And I mean, they were engaged by another large group of insurgents, and ourselves, we continued on through the trees, and you know, we'd gone not only 30 metres, and our scout just disappeared in a cloud of dust because he'd been engaged by a couple of enemy who were hiding in that really thick mulberry bushes, and he'd seen a flash of movement, so he'd got off around, but then they just had fired both magazines at him, and you know, at that point, I was at the back of the patrol, and I just thought, well, he's gone, you know. I just thought he hasn't made it through that, and we've tried to flank the enemy, and had to fight through those couple of guys, and it sort of went like that all day. If you're hitting compounds, there's a lot of guys inside. If you're in the trees, there was random, you know, machine gunners or riflemen sort of running around. It was just a busy day.